Hello everyone, this is Aniket Thakur. Welcome back to AWS today. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to host a website on your EC2 instance. So in last couple of videos, we saw how to spin up a new EC2 instance and then how to connect to it using SSH. And before that, we saw how to host a static website using S3. So let's see how we can host a website in the EC2 instance. So a couple of things to note is that we already have spin up an EC2 instance which has public DNS and public IP. So you can access this EC2 instance from this public IP and public DNS. So let's go ahead and connect to this instance. So make sure you have access to the PEM key that you need to access the EC2 instance via SSH. So once you do that, make sure you have the latest changes and patches so you can do a yum update. And next what we are going to do is install httpd daemon over in this operating system. So to do that, you can say yum install httpd -y, and let's use a sudo as well. So this is installed. Next what we are going to do is we are going to start this httpd daemon. To do that, you need to do sudo service httpd start. So this will start your http daemon. You can see the status of the service using replacing start with status, and you can see that this daemon is running. What we'll do next is we'll run a command that will ensure that httpd always runs on system reboot. To do that, you need to do chkconfig httpd on. This command will basically ensure that http daemon will always run when you reboot your machine. Now once you have done that, you can go to var www.html, and here you can add your index.html file, and that should be accessible to the outside world when you access it. So let's try to add index.html here. We'll just copy the file from the static website hosting that we had done. We'll just go to index.html. So if you remember, we had made these two files, index.html and error.html, as public, so they are publicly accessible. So what we'll do is we'll try to download it here, and using wget, hopefully that command is present. Alright, I think we need to use sudo to do that, and there we go. We can do an ls and see that index.html is present here. Now let's try to go and access this EC2 instance using its public DNS, and you can see it kind of keeps on loading. That is because if you remember, we had set of ports that we needed to open to your EC2 instance, and we had just opened SSH port to allow SSH into the EC2 server. But if you see, this kind of runs on port 80, so it is not working. So what you need to do is open up that port, and to do that you can go to security groups, and I think our security group was my security group. So let's go ahead and edit it. Edit inbound rules, and we'll add a rule to STTP, which is basically 80. We'll keep it open to all IP address as we did for SSH, and click on save, and then it should automatically get applied to the EC2 instance. No reboot should ideally be required. There we go. I think it has already loaded. Let's try to refresh it and see that you can see the hello world here. So just to verify, what we'll do is we'll probably edit this file and hello world, and let's say we'll say h1 maybe from open source for Alright, I think I did this mistake again. You need to do a sudo since this is a restricted directory. And let's do this one more time. H1 from open source for geeks and close it. And let's try to refresh this and see that this comes up. So this is very easy, right? So all you need to do is make your changes here, and you can have HTML, JavaScript, anything that you like over here, and this should get reflected here. So just to summarize, couple of things. Make sure that your EC2 instance has a public IP. When you launch it, if it has public IP, it will have a public DNS as well. You can access this EC2 instance using public IP or the public DNS. Both are basically the same thing. And next important thing to remember is the security groups. So make sure that your security group gives access to TCP port 80, uh, so that your website is accessible from the outside world. If you are using any other protocol like HTTPS, which is I think 443, then you need to open that port as well. So that's pretty much it. Thank you.